What's going on, fight fans? It's your host Sebastian, and welcome back to the Boxing Tip. Now, I've known about this fight being made, and my first reaction to it wasn't exactly a good reaction to it. I was kind of more like, not really too interested in watching it. I mean, I know it has the potential to deliver some, pretty good action and maybe even a knockout, but I mean, to me, it just kind of doesn't interest me too much because it's kind of like would most likely will be Cotto's possible last fight. I think he's talking about retiring after this fight, so I guess he's trying to go out with a boom with an action fighter like James Kirkland. And then James Kirkland's coming off a very long layoff and a pretty devastating knockout loss to Canelo Alvarez. So yeah, my reaction wasn't too excited, I guess, but then I started thinking about it more and more, and then I keep seeing this fight getting brought up in certain areas, certain places and shit like that, so I figured, fuck it, I might as well watch some of these guys' fights, and then just kind of give you guys my little analysis of how maybe this fight will play out, and kind of an early look. I won't give you my official prediction until of course the fight's getting ready to happen. I try to do it within the week of the fight, so only reason why you don't see me pumping out too many breakdown and prediction videos. But the more and more I started thinking about it, and the more and more fights I started to watch by these guys, the more excited I've become to see this fight. And because in some strange sort of way, I find this fight to actually be somewhat competitive. Some people probably don't think this is a very competitive fight. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just expecting Miguel Cotto to probably just blow right through Kirkland, possibly knock him out in similar fashion as Canelo Alvarez did. And, because of Kirkland's style, come forward, throws, 100 punches around. Not the best defense, you know what I'm saying? But, I've been seeing a lot of negative comments about it. Well, I'm going to try to give it more of a positive approach to this fight because, like I said, I started watching it, and now I kind of, like I said, in some strange sort of way, see this fight as being somewhat competitive. And then I'll give you a few reasons why. All right, first reason why I feel like this fight will be competitive, and I'm not one for superstition, you know what I'm saying? But James Kirkland does fight better, or at least seems to have more willingness to keep going when he has Ann Wolfe in his corner. Now, Ann Wolfe was a professional women's boxer, a female boxer, and she was quite the mean lady, you know what I'm saying? So she knows boxing. She does know boxing. But like I said, I'm not one for superstition, but it does seem Kirkland has better nights when Ann Wolfe is with him. Maybe because she pushes him in a way that Kirkland doesn't get pushed when he's with other trainers, or maybe, you ever watch the movie The Leash, I think it is, or Unleash, with Jet Li in it, and when he takes the collar off, you know what I'm saying, he's like a fucking monster, but when he has the collar on, he's like a slave and shit. Well, to me, this is kind of the opposite. When he doesn't have Ann Wolfe, he's not the best fighter. He's not the best fighter he can be. But when he does have Ann Wolfe in his corner, he seems a lot more aggressive, a lot more willing to win. You know what I'm saying? So I see that as kind of a factor in a way, even though I'm not a real superstitious person, or I don't believe in just because he has Ann Wolfe in his corner means that he's the best fighter in the world or anything like that. No, it's just, and maybe she provides some extra motivation, and she works the fucking hell out of Kirkland, you know what I'm saying? So, and he gets in his best shape, so it is a positive thing that Ann Wolfe is in his corner. The second reason why I see this fight as being competitive is because Miguel Cotto in previous fights doesn't take pressure so well, you know what I mean? Some fights he does, like Manny Pacquiao kind of put the pressure on him and really was giving him a good workup and, ultimately stopped him. But, when Cotto was fighting off his back foot, he didn't seem like the same kind of Cotto, the same kind of aggressive Cotto that we're used to seeing, kind of like a like the Terminator and shit, heavy left hands to the body and to the head and just getting rid of guys, you know what I'm saying? Really aggressive Cotto. But Cotto is a great boxer at the same time. He's a very, very talented boxer. And, he's a veteran in the sport, man. He's proved himself over and over again. He has big fights, very successful fighter. And possibly a future Hall of Famer. So, Cotto's been a great attribute, or been a great addition to the sport of boxing. But, like I was saying, the Antonio Margarito fight, right? We seen that, take away what may have been, the suspicious raps and everything like that, and the plaster and shit like that. But take away that, you know what I mean? And he didn't do so well with being pressured, Now, Kirkland, he's a lot quicker than Antonio Margarito. He's shorter, stockier. His punches don't take a while to get there, where Antonio Margarito had good power, but he had to load up, you know what I mean? Those long ass arms, they had to, travel quite a distance to get to where they needed to go. Kirkland, he's like a close the distance completely type of fighter and throw a lot of punches and just kind of slowly beat you down, hitting you until you finally just crack under the pressure. Now, that'd be interesting to see how Cotto will deal with that type of aggression. He didn't deal with it so well against Antonio Margarito, and Antonio Margarito throws a lot of punches, same as Kirkland. Now, granted, Cotto did win in the rematch versus Margarito. The fight was stopped because of Margarito's eye, which, he suffered a bad injury during the Pacquiao fight, broke his orbital bone, or, his eye socket bone. Now, that played pretty good into Cotto's favor in the second fight, and, he learned a thing or two from the pressure that Margarito was applying on, that he was applying in the fight between them. Was doing a little bit better with taking that pressure away. Now, Kirkland doesn't have the best chin, he was knocked out in the first round by Ishida, and then he was knocked out by Canelo Alvarez, but we've seen him hurt, we've seen him rocked pretty bad, like against Alfredo Angulo, but these are pretty big punches. So Ishida not so much, but who knows? Get caught with a good shot regardless of the power, sometimes it just rocks. It'll rock you if you're not ready for it. Alfredo Angulo and Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, are big punches, and Alfredo Angulo had Kirkland hurt very badly, but Kirkland's willingness to fight and his heart and his warrior spirit came out, and he was able to come back and actually stop Alfredo Angulo. Canelo Alvarez, he did some decent work against Canelo, but ultimately Canelo's good timing, counter punching, kind of negated that. So, it worked against Kirkland. So he fell victim to good counter punching, good timing, and slightly, and not slightly, but better boxing ability than his own. Now, I do believe Cotto is the better boxer of the two, but if James Kirkland carries that heart, that warrior mentality, at 200%, and he's, now that he's got Ann Wolf, and she's working his ass already, so if he goes in there strong, in shape, motivated, ready to win, it could be a tough night for Cotto, honestly. And, I'm really curious to see how Cotto's going to deal with it, but if for some reason Cotto was able to time Kirkland coming in and catch him with some good shots, it could be an early night for Kirkland. Who knows? I don't see Kirkland stopping Cotto, but nevertheless, there is a possibility of that. I do see the most likely outcome is Cotto stopping Kirkland, but once again, that remains to be seen. Who knows? I could be completely wrong. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you guys like an early take on this fight. I'll obviously get into it a little bit more detail once the fight gets closer. I think the fight is scheduled for February 25th of 2017, so right around the corner, not too far away. So I'll have that video, sometime in the near future. And right now I'm kind of leaning towards Cotto, but who knows? By then I might have a different opinion. Once it gets closer to fight time. So, but let me know what you guys think, man. I mean, do you guys see Cotto blowing out James Kirkland, knocking him out in spectacular fashion, similar to Canelo Alvarez, or do you see Kirkland Kirkland's reunion with and Wolf being a big factor. Maybe he comes in a lot stronger than he has in the past, you know, and being too much to handle for Miguel Cotto. You know what I mean? Not to mention Cotto's kind of already, you know, he's on his way out of the sport. So, you know, all the more advantage for Kirkland if Cotto isn't 100% in the fight. You know what I mean? But let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. You know, like I said, it wasn't the most like exciting announcement, you know, in boxing for me at least, but at this, you know, as I kind of started to pay more attention to it, I started to become more and more interested. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I'm a fan of both guys. I do like both fighters. I've been a fan of both fighters for the longest, so you know what I mean. It's always good to see a matchup of two guys that you do like in the sport. So, you know, but like I said, just let me know what you guys think. How do you think this fight's going to play out? Do you think any of these things that I've mentioned are going to be a huge factor in the fight? Also, you know, share the video with your boxing homies, man, and introduce someone to boxing. You know, maybe if it's around that date, show them this fight. You know, for all we know, we could have some real fireworks for this fight. It'd be a good fight, good introduction fight for a new boxing fan, you know, at least to get them excited, like, man, I want to see some more. So, you know, make sure you introduce somebody to boxing. Also, you know, subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm back at it, trying to pump these videos out every single day if I can help it. At least 2 to 3 videos a day is my goal. If I can get more out, that'd be sweet. But I am trying to stay very active, so make sure you subscribe to catch all the latest videos of the boxing tip. And that's all I got for this video, guys. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Once again, this is Sebastian with the boxing tip. Peace out.